Yeah. Yeah. You go through a metamorphosis and you don't even realize it, but you become that environment just seeps into your soul, into your spirit, into your blood,
Yes.
and you just feel like you can take on the world. At least that's what it did for me.
I felt like I had so much like ambition and just like, yeah, whatever. I seen somebody else do it, like I can do it too. And they're just like, no, you can't. And I'm just like, why can't I? Like I see it when I'm in school, like why? Well, and I'm just like, well, you're basing it off of a white man's curriculum or standards. Like I seen a black person do it at my school. Like they could do it. Why can't I do it? I'm gonna go do it. So that's why I said like me going to the like I've definitely proven them wrong because when I finished, I done studied abroad at 3 countries. I have 2 degrees undergrad. I had accomplished so
Mm,
much, and my mother was just like, I want to apologize for not wanting you to go to an HBCU because yeah, I just viewed going to a black organization or a black institution would be just a bad representation. And I just want the best for you and your sister. So, but yeah.
well, I think there's something that's been done in America. If we sit back and we look at why we believe that, it's because the country has done what I call an indoctrination that everything that's white is better.
Right.
And historically speaking, that was true. Back when my mom and dad were growing up in the 40s and 50s in Jim Crow South,
Mhm.
everything that was white was better. They
Mhm.
had better schools, they had better books, better roads in their neighborhoods. Their homes were better. Everything was better. And so when integration began, there was this notion that, okay, especially when blacks were being bused to different schools, which were predominantly white, instead of the country doing and giving access to equipment and books and technology as they did the other, meaning white majority schools, they decided, well, let's integrate so that we have access. But in doing that, not saying that that was wrong in and of itself, I'm just speaking from a socio-economic or socio perspective, social perspective, is that it began to set up in us this notion that everything that white people have, everything that they do, that it's better than who we are and what we have.
Mhm.
And for me, it was just the opposite. My experience having gone to Howard undergrad, it was what I had been told, I realized wasn't true.
Mhm.
The idea that because I was in a predominantly white environment in high school and growing up, that everything they had was better. I realized when I got to Howard that what I had been fed about what being Black in America, that it was wrong. The notion that Black isn't good enough, that Black people aren't good enough, that we're not smart
Right.
enough, totally was wiped out because I went to Howard and I realized that there were all of these beautiful people, all shades, all around the nation, who were smart and confident and bold and creative. I had never been involved or in an environment where everybody was like that. And
Mhm.
so I started going, well, wait a minute. So I thought I was special. I thought I was like the only smart black person in my
Right.
school, or there were like 2 or 3 of us in the National Honor Society. You begin this feeling as if, this notion that you're not that you're better, but that you have been assimilated and
Mhm.
assimilating for most of your life. And then when you go into an environment that is predominantly African American, predominantly majority black, you realize, okay, you're with the cream of the crop. And
Mhm.
so all these the notion that black isn't good went out the window. It was like,
Right.
what? All of these beautiful, smart black people. It
Right.
just gave me that extra boost of confidence and love and that spirit and feeling of like black power and that we're better together, that we're great together. And it was just the best of my life. Seeing people who looked like me
Mhm.
in major key decision making positions, whether the president of the university, all the way down to the staff, people who were serving us in the cafeteria, our janitors, our teachers, our professors. I mean, everybody. It was Black excellence at its best on
Mm-hmm.
every level. And I think about that now, and I wonder, why even in 2022, 2023, in current states, that there is this notion still that white is better or
Right.
that white is right. And I believe that post George Floyd, that the conversation that we're beginning to have again, that our blackness is beautiful, that
Mm-hmm.
cooperation, Black cooperation and Black connection and Black collaboration, we need to get back to that we need to create a world where we are not the other, a world where we're not considered or to be deemed as, minority, that we are the majority in our environments, and
Right.
how that speaks to our children. It makes them feel confident and bold in who they are, that they can matriculate in any environment, whether it's all Black, all white, majority Black, majority white, diversity, whatever it is, that they feel confident in themselves. And that's what going to an HBCU gave me. It gave me the confidence that I needed to matriculate in any environment. So that when I walk in the room, I feel comfortable walking into any room.
Yes.
I feel comfortable being who I am in any room. I feel comfortable wearing my Blackness in any room.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel good enough about who I am as a person that I don't need to make you feel comfortable with who I am. You don't feel comfortable, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. But I'm going to
Right.
speak what I speak. I'm going to be who I am. And I'm going to show up as a Black woman. And that experience, having been at an HBCU, is what gave me the confidence in who I am as a person, as a woman, as a Black woman, to feel confident and to have value and worth in myself and for myself, that I know when someone is mistreating me. I know when you are treating me less than who I am. I know when you're not treating me to my level of professionalism. I know when you're using your microaggressions to try to denigrate me and keep me down.
Right.
That's what having an HBCU education gave me, the confidence, the effrontery to stand up and say, I see who you are, I see what you're doing, and I'm not about that business. I'm taking my resources, my intellect, and I'm going to serve myself and my people. I don't need to be in an environment that doesn't
Welcoming.
protect me, that doesn't support humanity. And I don't think I would have been there had it not. I don't think I ever would have evolved to that had it not been for that HBCU experience, because it grounded me and it gave me the foundation to speak truth to power, to not be afraid, and to be confident in who I am as a Black person and as a
Right.
Black woman, and to sit in it and stand in it and to harness it and to love it and to embrace it and to be bold about it
Mm-hmm.
and to be bold about it. Had it not been for my HBCU experience, I don't think I ever would have had that. And I also will admit, I had a little bit of an extra experience with that, because my mom and dad both went to Grambling State, another HBCU, and they also served in the staff as professors. So I had a little bit of both experiences at a young age, when I was in fifth grade, sixth grade, and seventh grade, being in an all Black environment. So I had the best of all the worlds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But being at an HBCU, I mean, it was the most pivotal moment in my life that truly changed me and opened my eyes as a woman and as a Black person in America. And like I said, had it not been for Howard, I don't think I would have been the confident woman that I am and that I became, and the ability to understand who I am and the values that I have, and to walk away when an environment is no longer servicing me and no longer good
Right.
for me. That's that boldness that an HBCU gives you, that maybe being in a different environment perhaps would not, because you are surrounded by people who are, as I mentioned earlier, just smart and intelligent, and we are protective of each other. And
Mm-hmm.
that protection, that feeling of, okay, we are all in this together. We're all seeking the same thing out of life. And, you see me for who I am. There's something beautiful and powerful
Mm-hmm.
about that, when you know you're being viewed not for your color, but because of who you are, because you identify with each other. Like, you see me, you
Right.
hear me, you feel my soul. You
Mm-hmm.
see me as a human being. You're not basing your connection with me on color, but because we understand each other, because we are coming from the same kind of environments, or we've had the same experiences in the workplace. You understand the language that we both understand and speak. And had it not been for an HBCU, I would not be who I am today. So, I give hats off to Howard, and I will the real HU.